start out as PhDs, they think that they're going to become professors. That's their vision, right? And that's kind of one of the motivations. But the reality is that only about 20% of PhDs become academics. If you look at the big picture statistics, so and there are a lot of things that affect the decisions that get made about hiring people into academia. So I always recommend that people think about preparing themselves for both pathways while they're grad students, right? So keep a broad perspective on kind of what is going on in the industry. Try and network, right? Try and yes, you have to do your research, but look around and take opportunities to meet people from industry. Like go to conferences when you can, and when you're at conferences, try to take advantage of them in terms of broadening your network of contacts, and to learn about what's going on in the industry, right? So that you can kind of prepare yourself a bit strategically, right? So that you kind of can go presumably both directions depending upon what opportunities come along as you graduate and so on. And so I think it's just good kind of risk of management, right? Or due diligence. And to some extent, also think, look around and see exactly what it is that professors do. Because sometimes it's very tempting to think that, professors have this glamorous role all the time, and you're traveling around the world and you're presenting at conferences, but also, try and see what happens when when you're preparing for lectures, and what it means to be up in front of the classroom on an ongoing, day-to-day basis, right? Is that something that you really want to do? Does your personality fit with that kind of thing? Because it is a little bit of a different thing when you get up in front of a classroom than when you're sitting in the classroom looking at the other direction, right? So really, learn a little bit about all aspects, right? If you can, take advantage of an opportunity to say TA a course or to teach as a sessional sometimes, right? And get that exposure so that exactly, you have a better sense of what it is that you're actually getting into as an academic, right?
Yeah, because sometimes the students came, especially for international students, so the model is different there. So once they graduate from the bachelor, they can hire directly to the university. So they have that mindset, I want to be a professor. Yeah. So when they do their PhD, they have one mindset, I want to be a professor, and they don't open their mind for other opportunity for like industry, which...
Yeah, and as our technologies become more sophisticated in the environmental engineering world, there's a need in the industry to have people who are much more highly and specialized training, right? There are interesting opportunities that one can have in industry where you do get to look at some pretty sophisticated problems.
Yeah. So if you have a new graduate student coming to your office for the first meeting and just is going to start her or his research, what advice would you give her or him?
Well, I think probably one of the more common things I say to them, and this is more of an approach kind of thing to any kind of academic study, is really to try and treat your graduate studies like a job. That, because graduate school is so different than being an undergrad. As an undergrad, you have all of these very short-term commitments, right? You've got to get assignments in, you've got midterms, you've got exams, and somebody's telling you what you need to do all the time, right? And so you actually have very little control over your agenda. But as a graduate student, all of a sudden, you're not doing very many courses, and yes, you have to get this thesis, but that's a couple of years away, and it seems like there may be some more interesting things to do with your time, right? But almost always, it still takes the same amount of work to get to that end point. And if you choose to put it off towards the end, you will find yourself more stressed. Whereas if you can kind of look at your work and work on it steadily from the start, and do some of those things early on and get them out of the way, so that you will get the work done in the time, and you'll be much less stressed in terms of and probably the work will be done better. So I really advocate taking that kind of very kind of steady approach. Work regular hours. You don't have to work till 2 a.m. You can work regular hours, and and I think things just go better if you take that kind of general approach. And I tell almost all my grad students to think about their studies in that way, because it is a different kind of, much more self-motivated, self-regulated kind of experience.
Yes. Great. Go ahead.
Right.